Today on the TMZ Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the TMZ Podcast. I'm Charlie Cotton and joining me today is Eunice Elliott. How are you, Eunice?
I'm amazing, Charlie. I'm always so much better when I'm sitting next to you.
Oh, ain't that sweet to say?
It's true. I mean it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What are you doing for the holidays?
Oh, you know what? This would be my first holiday season in California.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So this is a hot one for you as opposed
This would
to
be my first hot Christmas.
because we're going to count down some of the top moments of 2023.
Yes.
We're going to put out a series of episodes with different themes, counting down just the stories that mattered this year. And to begin with, we're going to talk about this year's most shocking moments. It was a shocking year.
I think so. I think this year had a lot of crazy news stories for sure.
It really did. Well, do you want to kick us off with we're going to count down. So the fifth most shocking moment.
Okay, number 5, the Dalai Lama. He is not normally in the news for bad behavior.
No.
Shocking behavior
Not
even.
at all.
But he really kind of took us all through something when he had to apologize because we saw a video of him basically kissing a kid, but then he also asked the kid to suck his tongue.
Yes, not a great look to ask a little boy to suck your tongue, especially from someone who's so revered. Like,
Right.
he is, everyone loves the Dalai Lama, and then he does something like this, and it was shocking that our Dalai Lama did this.
But it was also in a public place.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was a private secret video being taken. And so, you still, even though he got the apology, I'm curious, what was he thinking?
Exactly. What goes through your head to think that you're on camera, and it still doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't make
Now,
sense.
that he would be so tone deaf as to not know how that would look and feel and know.
Or maybe is he so removed from people's opinions? I'm sure he's not scrolling on Instagram like we are,
Yeah.
seeing all these people's comments. But if he's doing that in a public space on camera, it makes you wonder what's going on when we don't see the Dalai Lama.
Well, true. If you can't get that right, that you don't ask little boys to suck your tongue,
if
then
you can't get that right.
where else are you deficient in sort of knowing what's appropriate? Yeah, it was a weird moment.
Very weird.
That's for sure. Okay, I got our number 4 moment.
Okay.
The number 4 most shocking moment of 2023, Quavo and Offset. They got into a fight backstage at the Grammys over their buddy Takeoff's tribute that night.
Allegedly.
It was a tribute. It wasn't an alleged tribute.
No, I mean alleged fight. Alleged
Oh, they
fight.
allegedly got into a
did
fight.
Did they really get into a fight?
Well, there was a fair bit of smoke.
Mhm.
Those two, ever since Takeoff died, those two couldn't see eye to eye.
Mhm.
Takeoff seemed like maybe he was a bit of the glue. And so when they were to do a tribute at the Grammys, Offset was prevented from joining the tribute, allegedly by Quavo himself.
And that's rough because in any situation, in a family situation, you're going to have people that are grieving differently. And I think when you're in a group with someone, I can only imagine, I might feel like you're not grieving as hard as I am, or are you trying to profit off of this? And so I'm sure there was a lot of things probably lost in translation. But I mean, after the fact, Offset said, what would I look like fighting my brother? That didn't happen.
Right. I mean, I don't know how sort of physical or there was definitely some altercation.
Something.
I don't know. Yeah, the
But
extent
look,
to it.
black folks, we always seem like we're arguing.
Is that right?
It's just a passionate conversation.
Ah,
You loud, I'm going to be louder. I'm going to use my hands. And it's all love. Ain't nobody fighting.
I love that.
That's how we say I
euphemism.
love you. This is how I say I love you, Charlie.
Wow, you must love me.
And then when I slap you and punch you and kick you,
That ain't love
that's from
anymore.
the heart.
That's very good. Because wasn't Quavo and Takeoff, they were related? Or is
Cousins.
it
I
just,
think.
cousins.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
cousins. And then Offset was there. So yeah, I think since that moment, Takeoff, I think since that moment, Quavo and Offset have sort of defrosted their relationship
Right.
slightly.
Were they cousins or was it his nephew?
Uh,
They were related.
See, that's another sort of that's almost another black thing. That
What?
I didn't know if they were actually related or if they
That's
just
not a black thing.
No, but I would never refer to another white guy as sort of nephew, unless he really was my nephew.
No, I think they're blood related.
Yeah.
Yeah, but white people call each other bros. What's up, bro?
Yeah.
And that's not your brother.
But you do cuz and like uncle, don't you?
So you're jealous?
No, yeah, I mean, I like it. I'd like for one time someone to call me sort of like.
You know, a lot of cultures, not just Black folks, but most cultures refer to elders as auntie, uncle. It's just kind of a sign of respect. And so it's kind of cultural outside of the West.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I wanted you to know.
Okay, thank you.
You wanna give us the number 3?
Is this how he says he wants to be my cousin?
Yeah.
Okay, cuz.
Okay, cuz. Number 3. You want to give us number 3?
I'll give you number 3. Joseline Hernandez beats up Big Lex backstage at a Mayweather fight. So it's appropriate. They're at a boxing match. And things got a little heated backstage. This happened back in June. Now, Joseline is known for getting a little rah-rah. And then they got into a fight. There was footage of the fight. There was a brouhaha. Joseline ended up in handcuffs. And it's just weird because I think maybe when you're watching a boxing match and you got all these famous people and people are jockeying for position and VIP status, somebody's liable to get punched.
This was one of the most, shocking videos of the. Well,
you're adults, you're parents. Calm down.
But because when the video came out of Joseline, like stalking around the arena, looking for Big Lex with murder in her eyes, it was a scary thing. And she got a hold of Big Lex, and it was a scary, like, what is she going to do to Big Lex? Because she really wanted to hurt her. And it was all on the heels of the fight. The Mayweather fight actually dissolved into chaos as well, with all the fans and everyone jumping into the ring. And so that whole night was littered with different fights in the stand. But this one with Joseline Hernandez, when she's just like dragging her, and like, it is a very scary scene, and yes, a very shocking video. It's
very shocking, especially because it's not for like a reality show, I don't think, and so it's like you're just handling yourself. I understand when the reality stars act like this.
I get that.
They're trying to get screen time, but if you're just managing yourself like this on a regular Tuesday, oh, come on, it's time to get help.
Okay, number 2. Pete Davidson left PETA, the animal organization, an unhinged voicemail over a dog. So PETA, the animal organization, they don't like it when you buy dogs or you go to pet shops. They want every dog to be rescued, especially if the dog's going to be put down. They want you to take him from kill shelters. I understand all of that. I've definitely have respect for that opinion. But they came at Pete Davidson publicly over this dog he'd got his mum. And so his response was to call them up and leave them a very strongly worded voicemail.
And I don't know if that was the best move for Pete, but I will say, as a dog owner who has a rescue and others, it's one of those things that it's always a hard call. PETA is coming from a good place.
Yeah.
But sometimes their tactics, I would say, I don't necessarily agree with. I think if you can give any animal a home, regardless of where you found it, Hinge, Bumble, you give it a home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You do the best you can to love it.
So you say you got one rescue and the others
The other, I wanted a golden retriever. And so I found a golden retriever specifically that I didn't necessarily, I guess it wouldn't qualify as a rescue.
Because you paid money for it.
A lot.
Right, as pure as it gets. So do they not have golden retrievers at shelters?
Rarely. I was looking for, a lot of them were very senior Goldens.
Yes.
And I wanted
golden retriever.
Right. And so the thing is, I think everyone should be allowed to have preferences and choices. You shouldn't be vilified for, wanting to love a specific animal. I think it came down to the hyperallergenic idea of dogs. And he says that's why he wanted to get that specific dog for his mom. And then PETA came back and said, that's not even a thing. I think if you want to love an animal, love an animal.
Right. There's no guilt. You don't feel any guilt about having your purebred?
No. Are you offering me some?
Yeah. I mean, I got 2 rescue dogs.
Yeah.
One of them is blind. One of them was born blind, and I rescued him anyway.
That does not sound like nothing I want to do.
But that's a good Samaritan alert on my behalf.
That's a preference, and I'm okay with that.
Well, no, I was rescuing this poor blind dog and trying to give it a better life.
Yes.
I deserve some credit for that, whereas you just paid money for a purebred to take the trouble off your hands.
No, it's not trouble. I mean, all animals are responsibilities. Who knows if my dog does go blind? I'm not going to give it away.
Right.
Like the other golden owners. That's why I didn't want their old golden
People
blind.
don't want to use dog.
My second one is a foster fail. I was just supposed to keep this puppy for 2 weeks. It's been 5 years and counting.
That's good.
Right. So I'm saying I think as long as you can give an animal a loving home, you should not be vilified for how you got that animal into your home, outside of stealing it from somebody.
You got the whole spectrum there. You got a rescue.
I'm covered.
You got a foster. And you got a bought. You got 3 of them. There's surely a pecking order between like who's like
No.
hierarchy.
The rescue is a lot more work. I will say that.
And there you go.
And there you go.
And there you go. Okay, Eunice, give us the number 1 most shocking moment.
Okay, I don't know if the shocking moment is that Will Smith denies sleeping with Duane Martin, or is the shocking moment that there has been a claim that such a thing was witnessed. What is the shocking moment of this, number 1?
Can we group both? Can we just group it in the whole?
I don't think it's shocking that he denied it.
It's shocking to me that there's a bit of smoke that Will Smith might dabble in something we didn't know he dabbled in.
Okay, so let's just say this. Number 1, who cares? Number 2,
well,
do you care?
Oh yeah, I'm interested.
Interested versus caring.
Well, Will Smith, before the slap, was like America's favorite son.
Okay.
And Jada Pinkett Smith, him and Jada, they were like America's favorite couple. And for their fall from grace to sort of happen this year, and then the punctuation mark is that Will might be gay, I think was just like mind blowing.
I don't know. I don't think someone being gay is that interesting anymore.
It is if they're married to one of the biggest starlets and they've never, like, this was shocking because I never would have expected it. Like,
yeah, but are you sitting down, going down a checklist in your mind of who all you think is not gay?
No.
I mean, who
For the
cares?
record, no.
It does not affect us in any way. I think it's been a constant rumor for years. If you've been fans of either of them, you've heard they've had an open marriage. You've heard they've had different relationships within. Duane and Will are good friends. And so I would say, 1, I don't think it's anybody's business. But 2, I think we shouldn't make assumptions just because somebody said it.
Right. Well, yes, somebody...
Was it that shocking? No.
An individual named Brother Bilal made the claim during an interview that he and Will Smith, he walked in on Will Smith and Duane Martin having sex years ago. But Will Smith was saying that, this is a shakedown attempt. Like, they just want money.
But don't you think that's weird when, like, former security guards and people who were in someone's inner circle comes out and does interviews about their private moments?
Oh, yeah, I'd hate that.
I think that's so weird.
Invasion of privacy.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you were there, you got paid. If you're not working with me anymore, take care. Go get a new job, you know? Don't make this your job talking about things you experience with me, true or not,
But what happened if Brother Bilal, needed a fast buck? You know what I mean? Like, people need money.
Okay, well, then Brother Bilal, get on. Well, first of all, he can't get invited onto a show to talk about who he slept with because no one cares.
Right.
Well, then just go get a job. They're hiring.
Just a job, just
Anywhere.
flipping burgers.
But
it's better to go on a podcast and try to say I've got like some info to you.
I'm not into it. I'm very anti telling someone else's business for gain. Right?
Yes.
If you were there and you were part of the story, if I was in a relationship with Will Smith, then yes, I have a right to talk about my relationship. But somebody who was a fly on the wall to come get booked on a podcast to talk about the relationship?
I agree.
Absolutely not.
It's low class.
It's low class. And let's say this is a true story. Why are you telling us this?
It's kind of outing someone. Well, it is outing someone too, which is gross.
It's gross and it's not that interesting. If someone is gay or not, who cares?
Right.
I don't think that's the breaking news it was in 1912.
Very true. Very true. It's just Will and Jada just have had the craziest 2023.
They've been in the news a lot, yeah.
And we could have added any of their little moments to this lineup because
they could have taken up the whole top 5 of their shocking moments.
I'm very interested to see where those two go this next year. Like if Will and Jada will stay the course or if this is basically the cracks have really started to fall.
I think they're going to reconcile, and I think they're probably going to work on a project that we're all going to pay a lot of money to consume of them doing together.
I mean, I hope so. I root for them. I think it's kind of a bit of a low point for the both of them right now, but I hope they dig their way out of it.
Yeah. I mean, and even if they're not together as what we deem a traditional relationship, they have shown us how you can love somebody regardless and through whatever. And I think that's inspiration beyond relationship goals. It's inspiration of how to love people, cousin.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
What's going to be on your Christmas plate coming up?
Oh, man. You know what? I am asking Santa for some paychecks this year. That would be a lot of fun to figure out. Where does money come from in Los Angeles?
TMZ? No?
Oh, yeah. Where does more money come from? I mean, Now, you know what? This will be my first holiday season. I'm a big New Year's person, so I'll do all the resolutions, vision board exercises, and get excited about 2024.
Oh, you do? You make...
Yeah, I have to make a plan so I know what to avoid, what's on the list, what's not on the list.
You had a good year this year, actually.
I think so.
You got hired by TMZ and now you're on the podcast. What a year.
Well, I'm glad that that's what you thought made a good... I will.
Yeah.
What about you? What does your holiday look like? You got a little one to get excited?
But when you have a little kid, it's all little kid focused.
Yeah.
And that's great because you just find the joy through them and you start like getting excited about Santa again.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You, like all of this stuff is fun for you again when really I haven't cared for years.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, Santa's going to be very generous this year, I think.
Oh, and will it be signed from Santa?
No, I don't want my kid growing up thinking Santa's the generous one and Dada is not the generous one. Dada gives the best gifts and Santa can chime in with a couple gifts here and there.
Now, this is interesting because in a Black household, it was the same theory, but for a different reason. It was, I'm not going to tell my kids no white man brought them nothing.
Right.
But yeah.
That's interesting.
Dada gives good gifts. I like the way you went with that.
That's interesting. Wow, I learned something. That's great. Okay, Eunice, thank you for joining me and happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you, Charlie. Thanks for having me.
And I'll catch you in 2024.
Let's do it.
All right. See you guys later.